So weird. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Women Crushing It Wednesdays. I'm so sorry we had like a weird technical situation. I don't know what happened, but it was just, you know what? We resolved it. We resolved it. How are you, my girl?
Oh my gosh, I missed you so much.
Miss
I missed
you.
you so much. So, how wonderful to see you in your globe-trotting adventures with, Team USA and just seeing, everybody do so well. So, of course, we're going to have to allow time for you to tell us all about these adventures and how the
Absolutely.
team is doing. We want to hear
Yes.
that, but you were so missed. I know we're
Oh
so
my
excited you're
gosh.
back in the States.
I miss my girls. I miss everybody that tunes in every Wednesday. I miss boxing. I mean,
Yeah.
the professional boxing that we usually talk about.
Yep.
I did have my fill of amateur boxing, which was amazing. But there were so many things going on and so many fights that I couldn't see, or
Yes. Mm-hmm.
sometimes we had the sketchy internet and sometimes we didn't. But the only fight that I was able to see, and I got up at like 4 a.m. when I was in Italy, was the Serrano fight. You know, but everything
Yeah.
else, I couldn't get it. I couldn't
Oh
get
my
them.
gosh. And like I feel like that was already so long ago, right? I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my gosh, that was like the last,
Yeah,
you
I've
know,
been gone for 2 months. I mean,
yeah,
2 months from here. Yeah, so it's been a long time.
it has.
Absolutely.
No, and what a fight that was, by the way, just I think that
Yeah.
the energy that brought to the sport, especially for women's boxing, was like amazing, right? And I think
Yes.
that both women just handled both like the win and the loss like really well. And hopefully it's
Yes.
something that we can see. I'm not a fan of the trilogy, right? But this is one
Right.
that, what? I'll take,
You wouldn't
I'll
mind?
take the, yeah, I wouldn't, let's do it again. I would be
Yeah,
okay with
why
that.
not? I
Yep.
would definitely be okay with that. And speaking of women's boxing, so when I was able to log on every now and then to Twitter, I would see the Michaela Mayer and the Baumgartner, like, back and forth. And
Yeah.
then I was mentioning to my husband, he's like, "Oh, well, they have a fight date. Okay, talk to me. What's going on?"
I don't. So, yes. So the fight date is there. They've been going back and forth. And that's part of what you and I had talked about. Like we like when
Yes,
there's that kind of healthy,
absolutely. Build up.
genuine, right?
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
genuine back and forth because I think it really sells the fight. Let's be
Mm-hmm.
honest. Um,
Yes.
but this is why it's a fight that I think everybody's like excited to see. For women's boxing. So I can't think off the top of my mind. Maybe the chat remembers the details of when, right? Like I know
Right.
it's on the calendar. But again, good times for women's boxing and. I know Jessica McCaskill is also fighting. Actually, I think it's here in Texas, by the way. I
Okay,
believe.
okay.
Yeah.
Who is she fighting? Hey,
You
G
know what?
Funky.
I can't remember. Hey, Chifunky. But yeah, so I saw her on the flyer. I almost want to say that I think it's on the BAM card. BAM is
Okay.
fighting. Yeah,
Yes, I'm so excited about that.
yeah. So that'll be really good.
Lee.
Hi, Lee.
That's
Um,
great. That's great. No,
and
I'm excited about that fight, about the Mayer and Baumgartner fight. Like I am. Like I love the build up, and I feel like there's genuine disdain for each other.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get a fireworks show for sure. So
Yep.
that I am super excited about that.
I
And
agree.
okay, so okay. So McCaskill is fighting Alma Ibarra. Okay, I don't think I know anything about Alma. I'm gonna have to look
Come
her up.
on.
Thank you, Lee, for that.
Yeah. I'm trying to see what I remember of.
Because
I
I
don't
want
think
to
I've
see a
ever seen
good
there.
competitive fight.
Yeah.
I want to see a good competitive fight, and hopefully it's gonna be one.
So
We're right now. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I don't know Jessica, of course, like I wouldn't know her personally, right? I know a
Right.
lot of, people and that someone that knows someone that knows someone. But just what I kind of see fan
Hmm.
outside looking in, I like Jessica. And I think that, she'll regardless of like who the opponent on, I think she'll put on a good show.
Right. No, that's good. I just it seems like women's boxing is on like a high right now,
Yeah.
after the Serrano fight,
Mm-hmm.
and and the Katie fight. I just feel like we need to keep that momentum. And I'm
Yes.
not trying to say to dismiss anybody, any other female, matchup that's been in the
Mm-hmm.
past, but it's just like right now we're on this high, for women
Yeah.
boxing. So I want the momentum to definitely keep going. I
Yeah.
really do, and I think Michaela Mayer and Baumgartner and McCatskill, if this girl hopefully is a good competitive
Mhm.
matchup, then I think that we'll continue on, and that makes me happy. It really does.
Yeah, no, I agree, especially because I think I've really, with your help, like I've just learned so much more about, the women in the sport, and the matchups, right? The rivalries, right? The fights that the fans want to see. And I think it's great. I really think that it's
Mm.
great, that we're seeing more of it. And I'll admit, I think I've already admitted this, but I'll admit again, I have not been a fan of Jake Paul. But I cannot deny,
Same. Yeah,
and take away what he did here, with this matchup.
absolutely. Same. Now,
And if
now,
we can,
now I
yeah,
can be a fan.
yeah, like so now if we can have him continue to be that advocate the way that he
Yes.
was with this, and if we can
Mhm.
have him kind of focus in on that and continue to push for the things that he, really did accomplish for this fight for others,
Yes.
I'm okay with him being in the sport,
Yeah, I think that and I was thinking about it, and I think he was very strategic on a business level, because he was like, okay, so I'm gonna train, I'm going to box, I'm gonna get my name out there, and then he was able to do what he's doing now. So I
Yeah.
think that, in my opinion, and maybe I'm totally wrong, he might be like, no, that's not what I did. I think that with his YouTube videos before, and then
Mhm.
him boxing, then he was able to do really what he wanted to do. And I feel like
Yeah.
that's uplifting the women and getting them more
Oh
pay.
yeah.
And so I can respect that. Sometimes we have to
Absolutely.
do things that we wouldn't ordinarily do, for what we love and believe in. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Lee said
So
that
yeah.
well, I was just gonna say, Ibarra says
Oh,
that she's nicknamed the Conqueror. She's from Mexico and has a 10-1 record that includes a decision win over Marciela Conejo. Okay, okay, that's gonna be good, And we know our Mexican fighters come to win, and they come forward, and yeah. So okay, I'm excited for that one for
yeah. So
sure.
hopefully it is good. Hopefully it's a good one. But
Yeah,
um, just the fact, I mean, it's Bam, so Bam's headlining, right? So
I love Bam. Yes, he's
that's the
awesome.
fight to
Yes,
watch. I'm really excited. It was such an exciting win for him. And then
yes.
for him to come back, with that win and fight in his hometown, it's going to be so good.
So this card, where is it? It's in Texas. Where
I
in
think it is
Texas
San
do we know?
Antonio. I
Is
think it's
it?
San
Okay.
Antonio.
I love
Yep.
San Antonio.
I mean, I
That's
think,
good.
people correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't like search right now since I'm on my phone, but I think it is in San Antonio.
That'll be good. That's gonna be really good. Do we have a date? Do we know the date or no?
It's coming up in June, I think. And
In
so,
June. Okay.
the great thing there too is Robert Garcia has a gym there in San Antonio.
Yes, I knew that. Yes.
He
Yeah.
has set up there, he has his location there. So I mean, you got that kind of home field advantage, just
Yeah.
coming in that way. But I think he'll do really good. Yep, San Antonio. Thank you, Lee.
Okay, Lee's so awesome. And he said June 25th. Okay, man. I'm gonna be in camp, I believe, but if not, I will definitely try to make my way over there. That's gonna be a
Yep.
really good card. So I have questions because, like I
Yeah.
said, I did not have access to the things I wanted to. So what is going on with Canelo Triple G? Are we doing this again? Like,
Yeah.
what's the talk?
I think, yeah, I think I saw that. So, well, let me back up. Because I did see Canelo's post.
Mhm.
And I think it is official. I think they're just pending the location, but we're talking,
Okay.
16 de septiembre.
Yeah,
Yeah.
course.
So it'll be, I think it falls on the 17th. So it'll be September 17th.
Okay.
And they're going to do it again. So Christine, I have been, so first let me back up. So I've liked both. I've never not liked Triple G, right?
Uh-huh. Sure.
In this instance, when they're going against each other, I do root for Canelo, right?
Right,
But
right, right. Sure.
But never have I like not liked, or Triple G. You know what I'm saying? So I like him. But this was one that I'm just like, I was okay without the trilogy. I was okay without the trilogy. I feel like well, I'm not going to speak for the fans, but what I would have rather seen is him and Benavides,
Absolutely. Me too.
I don't need, and I know that, I think in that situation,
I love Triple G.
Yep.
Yes.
But let me ask you then, do you want to see
But
this
do I
again?
want to
Would
see
you
it
prefer?
again? I don't. You know what?
Yeah.
The way I saw it was, 1-1. Triple G 1-1, Canelo 1-1 in my eyes, the way that I was scoring it and looking at it. And I think it's okay, like just to leave it like it is. Does Triple G have a right? Has he earned it to fight him again? Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
Do we deny him that? No. But am I crazy about watching it? Am I just like, oh, I can't wait? No, I'm not.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But Triple G, he Lee says with Canelo's loss and Triple G looking pretty good and beating Murata, this match is more intriguing than it was months ago. I still agree. I'd rather see him fight. That is a great point. It really is. And Triple G did look great against Murata. I mean,
yeah, he did. No,
Murata's known for his heavy hands and his power, and Triple G, he made it look like
really
a
solid.
boxing lesson. Oh, he did.
Yes.
He did.
Yes. He looked solid, and what I mean by looking solid is that he just looked really clean, right?
Yes.
He was very polished in the ring.
Yes.
And leading up to it, I'll confess, I mean, I wasn't sure what to expect because, we hadn't seen them. I felt like we hadn't seen them enough.
In a while. We hadn't seen them in a while, yeah.
I'm like, what are we going to get? And he was good. He was sharp.
Same.
So Lee makes an excellent point because yes, so that now does make it interesting because now you have Triple G coming in from this great win, and now you have Canelo coming in, from this recent loss.
Canelo, who we thought was invincible. Everybody, he's invincible. Yeah. Nobody can beat him. It doesn't matter what weight you are,
Mm-hmm.
And we saw that that's not the case. So now that everybody's not so high on Canelo, or they are, are the judges going to see it a different way? Are they going to be fair? Are they going to, absolutely. Antonio Luna says, if Triple G loses, will he retire or fight Jermell Charlo? I would love to see him retire personally. I would, because he is older, even though he looks fabulous and he doesn't move like an older person. But I would hate for him to go out in a bad way, but that's just my opinion. What do you think about that?
You're spot on. Like I agree completely. That's a great question because I think he should retire. I think he should end on kind of that high note. Even, so this is a big fight. Even if he were to lose against Canelo, I think that's still such a big fight and walk away at that level, at this level of fight against Canelo, right?
Right.
I mean, that's just my opinion. But another thing, honestly, I feel like Charlo is Jermell. So I think he's so focused on just the Canelo fight and that payday, that I don't even see him being willing to come to the table for a Triple G fight,
unless they just pull something, really big, really
it would have to
amazing,
be ridiculous.
Like
it would have to be
and
ridiculous.
that would be maybe if Triple G beat Canelo in the rematch, who knows, in the trilogy, who knows? I mean, anything can happen, and D-Style said, hello, D-Style.
Hi, D-Style.
Viejo Triple G. Really? Is he? He didn't look very viejo whenever he was against Murata. I'm just saying. Is
he getting up there? I mean, yeah, but he looks solid. I think he
did look solid. Antonio Luna says, what do you think happens in the middleweight division if Triple G retires? you know,
they're still not going to fight each other.
right, exactly. I mean, I don't think he's going to retire, but we shall definitely see. Um, Michael, my son, he will be a Hall of Famer either way. 42 W, 37
yeah.
KOs, and 1 L, go out on top. Absolutely, Michael.
Yeah.
You're right about that for sure.
Yep.
He
I agree
definitely
with
will go out
that.
on top. Yeah.
Yep. Go out on top. And again,
as he should.
Even if he loses against Canelo, right? It'll be a good fight. But I think even if he were to lose against Canelo, it's still like on top, because it's, it's a big fight. It's a big fight.
And are we reaching if we say, but what if he wins, or is that a possibility?
I don't even know what to expect. I feel like over the past, let's say like 12 months, I mean, there's been some upsets. There's been some, crazy wins.
Yeah.
I think, I think it'll be a good fight. Like I said, I'm not as interested because we've already seen it before, but it will be a good fight. Like Lee.
Yeah, and Lee brought up a good point. He really did. And I was like, okay, you're right, Lee. Like, with the loss and the win.
So where should this fight happen? So they're still pending the venue. That's the one thing that
Let's
I saw.
Go to Vegas. I say Vegas. Let's go to Vegas.
Yeah,
I'm down to go to Vegas.
I think Vegas is good.
But or Texas. I mean, they can come down here.
Yeah.
Well, all the Canelo fans are here, so I don't know. Lee said the element that will be injected into Canelo G is hatred, more on G's side than on Canelo's. Triple G has good reasons. Many thought he won the first, and I thought he won the second. A bit closer. Yeah. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce this. With Alma winning and likely
Ali McConnelly.
Is it? Okay. Winning and likely to be elevated to full champ. How about Kazaa versus Kazaa showdown between he and Triple G for 3 middleweight belts if he chooses to go on after Canelo? Gosh, but I just don't want him to keep going. But yeah, I mean,
Antonio's right. Yeah, the world turns upside down.
Oh, I'm saying, I mean, the world was almost upside down this last fight when he lost to Bivol.
Boxing Twitter would be
out of control. Definitely explode.
Ali Hanalua. That was close.
Yeah, that's good. You were very close. These styles, the zone is cashing Triple G out. I mean, we don't talk about this, but it does happen. I mean, it comes a time when you have to cash out on somebody that you've invested in. It's sad, but it's true. So maybe they are leaning towards that, but he sure did surprise everybody. Whenever he beat Murata. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But I missed the David Benavidez and Lemieux fight. Did you get to watch that?
Yes. So I didn't watch it live, but I went back.
Okay.
And watched it. He just looked so good. I mean, Benavidez is is definitely he made his presence known. He made his standing in this weight class known, and he's calling them out. It was a good fight. I mean, he was just solid.
And I'm going to play devil's advocate. Okay, so did he really look so good, or was Lemieux already old and is he already on his way out? I mean, at one time Lemieux was, right here. And
so
what was your perspective?
So I would say, so that's good that you bring that up, because we really do always have to look at that, right? Is it that the individual had an outstanding performance, or was it just that their competition was kind of subpar and therefore made them look, amazing? Right. So that's a good question. I think what this at least me, what this made me see is that I kind of feel like Benavides, he came in, Lemieux was okay, right? So now that you have me thinking, Lemieux was okay. I don't think it was his best performance. Obviously, he lost. But David did show just his power, his accuracy, right? His ability to move in the ring. And I almost feel like he has that opportunity to level up in the next fight because of the competition that he had with Lemieux, right? He didn't really have to go that maybe 100%.
Right.
And so if he looked this good, maybe not there at 100 in like a Charlo fight, or I think he would look really, really well.
Okay. Yeah. Well, D-Style says Lemieux is in early 30s, which in boxing is older. And he's been around for a long time, and he's taken a lot of wear and tear. Yeah. Just like your car, just like your skateboard, whatever, you have it around for a long time, a lot of bumps and bruises. Then he said Triple G is 40. Yeah, but he's special. I've been telling you all that. Lee Grove says Lemieux is older, naturally smaller, and not the hitter at 168.
Yeah.
Yes, as he was at 160. Max Persac scored 2 knockdowns of Lemieux in their fight, so it wasn't a surprise that Benavides dominated as he did.
I want to say,
said Benavides put him in the blender.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I was joking? I'm like, I think maybe it was like that whole Samson story where Lemieux lost his hair and there went his power. Like,
okay.
So to me, he looks so odd because I'm used to seeing him. Remember that hairdo?
Yeah.
It was
exactly.
almost like signature. And then I saw him bald, and I'm like, what happened?
Hey, you know what? You might be onto something, Nancy. Seriously. Absolutely. Canelo is going to have to knock Triple G out to retire. Yeah, I know, because you said earlier, Antonio, you were saying that I don't think Triple G's pride will allow him to retire with a loss against Canelo. I know, it's like I agree. I agree. He's going to want to keep on going and going and going. We're going to be like, no, stop.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with that. So I did not see Charlo Castaño, and did you get to see that?
No.
Did you get to see that?
So
fight?
So I saw the highlights, but I didn't see like the entire fight. But I was right. I can say I was right because I did predict. My prediction was that Charlo would win this time around. And he did.
In the manner that he won, did you believe that it was going to be? It was a stoppage, right? Was it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was a stoppage. I don't know that I was predicting it for it to be a stoppage, but I just
knew he was going to win.
Yeah. So I just seeing Charlo's past fights, and then just the way that he performed, with Castaño in the first fight, I think, at least for me, what I saw was he was not prepared because they thought that was going to be a cakewalk, right? There was no game plan. He felt like, I am enough, just walking into the fight and, doing my business as usual. And of course, that was a big mistake. I think that in the first fight, they just had no game plan. They just were not prepared. Like, they did not go watch tape, right? So, for the second one, I knew that was going to happen. They were going to come in with a game plan. They were going to watch the tape. He had to stay, off the ropes. I just knew that him and the team in the corner were going to come prepared this time. And he, had the advantage of now knowing what to expect. And, here we are.
So I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. A lot of people are talking about Derek James being, coach of the year because, of Charlo and, of course, Errol.
EJ, yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that? I mean, does this justify him being coach of the year, or have you seen something different from another coach and you feel like, no, this coach has done more? What are your thoughts on that?
You know, so you're making me think, because what's been easy is saying Eddie the past like 2 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, Eddie until and then
Eddie's
people
like on the
like totally dismissed him since Canelo lost. So
mhm.
it's like, is it
Well,
just
and then
that
Oscar
simple?
lost.
One win, one loss, right?
Yeah, Oscar Valdez lost as well. You know,
Exactly.
so he's just not off to a good start. Um, I don't know. Like I guess
I mean,
what's
does it warrant him being
I think
uh
it warrants him being a candidate, right? But I just don't, you know, for the year, you know, maybe one of the
right,
candidates. But I don't know that I can like right now be like, yes, he's the,
right.
you know,
Agree.
he's the trainer of the year. Like I don't think
Right.
I think because of these two wins, yes, like put him in the running for
Yeah, and
for that.
that's kind of what G Funky's saying. He said, still
Yeah,
early, but Coach
there you go.
James is the front runner. So, and it is still early. I mean,
Mhm.
we're in what month are we in? Where am I? What day is it?
We're coming up on mid-year, so
I lose track.
girl, you've been gone
But
2 months.
yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Exactly. So Michael says yes, he deserves it. 3 belt champs at 147 and 4 belt champs at 154. It warrants it. Yes, still early, but he is a front runner.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think we can all agree that he is a front runner. I still want to see what's coming up next, and you know, and I definitely want to see if it ever happens, EJ and Bud, and then
And Bud.
let's see if it's going to be, uh, Derek or Bomac, or is it going to be Eddie again? I mean, who's it going to be?
You know, I don't
So
know about Eddie. So we have James as
is
a
he too
friend.
far gone?
I think so, because you've already had those two significant losses in the first half
Mm-hmm.
of the year, right? So I think even if Canelo pulls the win in the second half, I don't know who else Eddie has fighting the second half of the
Right.
year. But even if Canelo wins, I don't think that win is enough to put him up there in the running with with Coach James. So I think that if we can have Bud and EJ happen this year, with EJ winning, then yes, I think it's like, it's absolutely he's won the spot. Mm-hmm.
So question, is Eddie the coach that everybody thought he was, or was Canelo just super ultra talented, and then that drew other boxers to want to train with him? Is he the real deal, or was Canelo just this gifted person that walked, in to his gym and said, train me? Like, what is it? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, whenever I talk
Yeah.
about like trainers and trainers of the, is it the boxer, or is it the trainer? And
Yep.
how many trainers do we know that have gotten these kids like from when they first started and they're amateurs and taken them to these next levels into the pros and continued the
Mm-hmm.
momentum?
You know what? You know what,
It,
Christine? That's it. That's a great question, because so let's think about it, because Eddie has a small stable, right? So
mm-hmm,
he has a smaller stable. And we know that with any sport, like football, basketball, I
yeah,
mean, when you've got the star, right, that just makes coaching easy. Um, that puts spotlight on you as well as the coach, right? Because you got the star, you're the coach.
yes,
It just makes it easy. So then you kind of have that association.
yes,
And so now you have, what are his stars, which are Oscar Valdez and Canelo not having, a great first half of boxing this year.
absolutely.
So is it because, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah,
Is it really Eddie?
and
Who else has he trained
absolutely,
that we could assess like the talent from the training perspective?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and he has a really
It's
small
just
stable.
something to make you think. Exactly. Maestro, how are you?
Yay!
Good to see you. Thank you so much for
Thank
tuning
you.
in. Okay, Lee Groves, yes. So I am a huge fan. Was a huge the rest in peace, Angelo Dundee had it right. A trainer is only as good as the fighters they train.
Yeah,
Abso-freaking-lutely.
yeah. Hmm.
I believe that, and that's on every level. That's on the amateur level.
Yep.
That's on the pro level. That is absolutely true.
Mhm.
Unless you've gotten a little seedling and brought them up through the, the amateurs and through the pros, being able to adjust and all. I agree, and there's not many trainers that have done that, and then you
Well,
get this
so
one champion and then
right.
everybody else is drawn to you.
So Eddie essentially did do that though with Canelo, right? So this is someone that he did develop from the beginning of the career to now, right? But that's the one, and what you want to see, I think, in an outstanding trainer is someone that can develop, you know, um, the uh, the athlete,
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
more than one athlete. Let's put it that way, right?
Absolutely.
More than just the
Right.
one, and that's been
Yeah.
his one and only. So we don't, unless there's something that I don't know, but we haven't really seen any other
I
fighters
I, I
that he
think I
did have under
think
his
you're
development
correct.
from a young age, right? To be able to then
Yeah.
say, oh no, he's great. No, I
Develop.
mean,
Yeah.
you have me thinking. You have me thinking with all this. So
Hmm.
we'll see, something to watch for.
Yeah, absolutely. Lee says years ago, trainers took fighters from the very beginning when they were kids, yes, and stayed with them until after they became champions. That is a true measure of a trainer, but times are different. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
But times are different. You're right. Especially with
Oh,
social media
Emmanuel
and
Stewart.
everything else.
Sorry.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I've seen some fighters to transition very well with Emmanuel Stewart, but same fighters he also trained couldn't mix well with Stewart's training methods, like Jermaine Taylor. Yes, and actually my cousin actually trained with him for a while, Jesse Benavides, and yes, he was able to take some and really mold them and do what he had to do, and then some, like you said, Jermaine Taylor. It's uh it's a gift.
Oh, I need a bottle
Um,
to pour out for Emmanuel Stewart. I was such a fan of Emmanuel Stewart, and not
yes,
just
me
as
too.
a coach, but HBO commentary. Rest in peace, HBO boxing. Um,
Absolutely. Oh my gosh,
but
yes, bring it back.
I know it. I feel like I just have such fond memories of like watching him, commentating and in the corner
Yes,
and.
yes, yes. And when he spoke, you listened. That he just he was just that guy. There's very few people that when they speak, you just all eyes on you and attention. And
Mhm.
but he's one of them.
Hey, real
Coach
quick, just
Al, Michaela. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was gonna say back on like the because I'm still thinking about the coaches, right? So you think of like a
Mhm.
Nacho Berenstein, right? Who
Mhm.
I
Oh,
always look,
he's another one.
so
Yeah.
I always looked at it as like, oh my gosh, he's like an amazing coach, right? So he had, Juan Manuel Marquez, he had Perro, and so I feel like he and others, right? But those are just the ones that are coming in my mind. So his Canelo was Juan Manuel Marquez, essentially, right? That he
Mhm.
had, I think, from an early start. Um, but is like, if we look at those two, like who right now would be considered like the better trainer, like Nacho or Eddie?
I would say Nacho. I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just that's my opinion. Michael says all about the father-son duo since the beginning and from the ground up. Floyd, Lomo, Ray, Jones, Mosley, Sean Porter, Haney, Tio. You're so right. You are so right. And again, that's my
Virgil
son, and he,
Ortiz.
and that and Virgil. That's
Mm-hmm.
my
Mm-hmm.
husband and I were our kids' trainers, from the beginning, and they accomplished great things in the amateurs and some in the pros until they decided,
Mm-hmm.
to get married or go to college, but you know
Yep.
but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so people always criticize or dismiss the father son duos, and um they obviously they can work too, because they know, they know everything about their boxer. Slide Encounter says Stewart to me was a great trainer. I definitely
Yes.
definitely agree. Ricardo
Yep.
Lopez as well, and I'm not familiar with Ricardo. um
I don't think I am either. I'll have to look him up.
yeah, yeah, we'll have to look him up.
Hey, don't let
Okay,
me forget. Don't let me
okay.
forget. Because I saw Haney's name, in that previous comment, that we need to talk about how dad is not with him in Australia and that whole
Oh, okay,
drama.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. We're gonna do that. Why are y'all live so early? Because this is the only Wednesday. We're gonna be early because today is my daughter's big 16th birthday, and we're gonna have a dinner at 8:30. So yeah,
Hey, shout out
do it early.
to Jose that knew that we're usually on.
Yes, exactly. He's paying attention. And yes, I have glasses on. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Did you see our poster, our flyer? I had glasses on there too.
Yeah.
I'm 4 eyes. But yes, so talk to me about, I didn't realize that Haney's dad wasn't there with him in Australia. What is going on?
So first off, so we talked about this early on, like in the first quarter of the year with boxing, and then the anticipation of this and so on and so forth, and knowing that, hey, for if the fight's going to happen in Australia, I mean, you need a good 6 months, right, of
to adjust.
Right,
Trust me.
and just to prepare,
Acclimated,
right, like the whole visa situation and etc. Right. So it seemed like, and I think that Cam Haney was all over it, but his father was denied a visa to enter Australia, and
wow,
yeah, and so it was due to a drug conviction some like 30 years ago. So this was a drug conviction 30 years ago. I mean,
no,
Devin wasn't even born.
Yes, no, there's many countries that are very strict that way. I had to get a visa to go to Russia in, I think, 2000, maybe 2019, something like that. But anyway, they went all the way back to like, where did your mom go to school when she was in elementary? What was her address? What were your last 5 like addresses? I mean, I don't know. They go way back. They want to make sure that, criminals not coming into their country.
Yeah. And Australia does
on that shady shit. No. Oh, absolutely. They're very strict. They're very strict on a lot of things.
They have a very strict immigration rule.
Yes.
And so, it is what it is. I do wonder though, if maybe homework had been done ahead of time, maybe with a little bit more time, if there would have been an opportunity for him to hire some type of legal help to like try to fight that. So I had the pleasure.
I don't think, no.
You don't think so?
I don't, no.
So I met, I think it's Richard Chu. So he helps with the WBC, and he helps the fighters, to get their visas, right? So everyone from like, let's say like the Charlos and fighters in Mexico that are looking to fight in the US, it's a big process.
A big deal.
It is a big deal. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of time. And I just wondered, if maybe they had thought it through, if he would have had a fighting chance, to.
I think that people don't, like, I know I didn't, like, we don't ordinarily think about that because we're so used to, just our ways, and we think, okay, COVID, I probably just need a COVID test and this and that, but there's so many different laws in other countries, and so we just never know. But I want to talk about too. So Zepeda versus Taylor for 3 belts. I'm pumped for that. That's going to be good. That's going to be a good one. But we have a short time. We have about 20 more minutes. But I wanted to talk about Jamel Herring's fight. I did not get to see it. But I know that he retired. Yes, he retired. And I guess my question is, are your fans always your fans? Like, are they always going to be there? Like, when you're on top, they're there. But when you're not anymore, are the fans still there? What is your thought and feeling on that?
I think that they're always going to have that population of their fan base, that does drop off because they're casual fans. They might. We have a lot of those where suddenly like they're just big fans. Name a fighter, big fans, and then they are losing, and then they retire, and they're like, okay, I'm done, right? So I think every boxer, every athlete's going to have like that population. But for the most part, I think what's happened is that in the wake of social media and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just social media. Like with so many other things, it's like it's hot and awesome for a second, and then it's like on to the next, you know.
Yeah.
I did think that it was extremely disrespectful, you know, with what Twin Munoz was saying there.
Yeah.
Um,
Right on, Twin Munoz. Yeah.
that I was that was so upsetting. You know, I wish I had
Classless.
it. I wish I had it in front of
Trash.
me. It was awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
That that to me was just awful. Like you
Yeah.
don't say that. You don't say. And I'm glad
No,
Jamal
absolutely
responded.
not.
And you know what? He responded in the way that we knew he would. Just very
Mm-hmm.
classy, very like, you know,
Yeah.
you're not getting the best of me response.
No, I mean, it's true. Like, I have been
Hmm.
in the locker room, you know, after someone has loses, and it's like when you win, you can't even move in the locker room. You can't
Yeah.
even move, you know, and everybody's there waiting for you and wanting to follow you wherever you're going to go, to your hotel, whatever. And then I've also been with, you know, champs that have lost. And it's very lonely. Nobody's
Yeah.
there. The ones that have been down with you and have been supporting you, you know, when you're winning, they're not there anymore.
Yeah.
Um, and you think it's like, who's riding home with you?
Yeah.
Who's back there to wipe your face and, you know, hug you and tell you everything's going to be okay? Um, Obviously the family is, but what about the fans that were so
Yeah.
loyal, or your, you know, people that are involved business wise that, you know, call you their best friend, or, you know, my partner for life, whatever they say.
Exactly.
Where are they
Exactly.
at? You know, are they eating dinner with you after your fight? Are they in your hotel room? Who's there? Who's in the hotel room? Who's in your taxi or the bus?
Hmm.
Those
Hmm.
are the people that are really, that were really down for you. It's heartbreaking. And then after this, you know, we don't ever talk about the emotional and mental part of it.
Oh yeah.
Um, because you can really go on a downward spiral after you've been on top of the world, and then you're no longer on top of the world.
Yeah.
Your name is talked about in a negative connotation. So we don't talk about that, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and it's concerning to me. You know, it really is.
It
I don't
is,
know.
and fans. This is why I became a fan of the sport, because of the stories.
Hmm.
So I did not become, you know, so I was a big De La Hoya fan, you know,
Hmm.
but I wasn't a fan, and I didn't become a fan because he was the golden boy and he did all this. You know, I became a fan because I had read into his story, his upbringing, his family, the loss of his mother, you know, the little stories that I had read about him and his journey to where he was at. So I became a fan of that, right? And I think you and I have talked about this, how
Hmm.
okay, I people need their privacy, you know, but we do like when the fighters, you know, share about themselves,
Sure,
and open
absolutely.
themselves up to
Make them
fans and
real. Yeah.
make them real, right? And so, you know, I think it for the people that, you know, because it is heartbreaking for the people that, you know, have that fan base that just, you know, goodbye, like just gonna drop, they just drop you, right? Like you're just dropped. I mean,
Exactly.
it's
They move on to the next
they move
shiny
on to
toy,
the
you know?
next. They move on to the next.
Yeah.
But those are the same
Yeah.
people that really shouldn't be, you know, at the door ready to cheer on again, you know, when that individual makes their way back up, you know.
Right.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. I've seen, you know, I've seen what losses do to people, you know, behind the scenes, and people go through a lot emotionally already with the loss, and then to lose your support and your fan base, you know, that hits
Yeah.
even harder.
Absolutely. And like I said, I always wonder and worry about, you know, our champs that are just kind of left, you know, in the
Yeah,
cold. Um, but it's, I
agreed.
guess it's part of the game. It's part of the sport, unfortunately. But I think if more people would not be fair weather fans and would totally stick to their guys, no matter what, win
Hmm.
or lose, then I think that mentally and emotionally, our champs would do better. Um, Slide Encounter said De La Hoya IMO had one of the hardest resumes I've seen in terms of timing or primed opponents, especially at 147 Gauntlet. Yeah,
Mm.
I mean, definitely. And even with him, it's like he's had his share even recently of controversy and things that have gone on, and um who's really there for him, and I think about that with Mayweather too, like who are your real friends? Are
Yeah.
people there for a payday? Are they there because you can do things for them? Or are they there because they really care about your well-being and they love you?
Yeah.
Um, it's it's a tough situation, tough
We
sport
need
that
to
we're
be
in.
loyal. We need to be loyal fans. You need to
Absolutely.
be like, win or lose, you're
Hmm.
right there. You're right
Absolutely.
there. I'll tell you what really pained me. And we'll have to, definitely give her a shout out. It really pained me that I couldn't go to Chicken's fight.
Oh, yes.
Because you know how it is
I
with
couldn't see it either. Yes,
family
absolutely.
commitments. Um,
Sure.
so shout out to her, and
Yes.
she's had her share of wins and losses, but I'm a fan,
Mhm.
right? So like I fan out with Chicken. We've had her on the show.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
even before I met her, through you, before I was at the club shows, and I was there whistling "Go Chicken," and
Yeah.
that's, to me, like, that's an example I can give you of like when you're just a fan, like you're a fan,
Exactly.
win
You're
or lose.
loyal. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. No, I
Yep.
agree. And I think that if more people were like that, then our champs would go through less things when they retire. You hear about
Yeah.
boxers getting on drugs or
Mhm.
alcoholism or taking their
Yeah.
lives or being reckless. And I think if more fans were loyal and true blue, then we wouldn't have as many
Mhm.
things happen as we do.
Yep. I
But
agree.
I don't know. We just have to be vigilant and keep talking about being loyal, and we have to lead by example. And
Example. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We just have to be the example, Christine, and the chat, y'all.
absolutely,
We just got to be
that's what we
loyal
got to do.
fans.
Let's do it.
And to Jamel, just
Yes,
amazing career,
nothing but
amazing
respect and love
accomplishments.
for he and the family. Yes,
Nothing but love and respect.
absolutely.
Um, we haven't seen the last of him, right? He's not going to be in the ring, but he's going to be close to the ring, so that's exciting for again us loyal fans, right?
Yes, he's a
Um,
great commentator.
oh yeah, absolutely. So
And
he's going to do amazing things.
absolutely. And before we dip out, I want to talk
Yeah.
about my girls. Team USA. I am just
Yes.
so proud of them. We had a long 2 months. The guys were with us the first half. We had our
Mhm.
number ones and number twos training in Colorado, and then we were in Italy. And then the men left, and the girls
Mhm.
and myself and the other coaches and the whole team went to Turkey and went to Women's Worlds. And I am proud of every single one of our girls. They did amazing. But Rashida Ellis, she won the gold against Brazil, who she had lost to before, and Brazil is also a silver medalist in the Olympics. And she beat her, and it was sweet. It was sweet. It was sweet, sweet, sweet. Um, and I just want y'all to keep an eye out on the whole team, the men, the women, because they're doing amazing things. And I feel so blessed and honored to be able to be a part. I'm living my dream life. I absolutely am. I feel very blessed for that.
And I just admire you so much. Like, you are just so amazing, beautiful inside and out, and the work you do with your kids. You call them your children, right? Your kids.
Absolutely. My kids,
You know,
yes.
they all love you. And what I would say to the chat, and just to all fans, like, this is when you want to start following folks, right? Like,
Absolutely.
this
Follow
is
these
when,
kids, young
make
adults.
sure
Yes.
make sure you're following USA Boxing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that you're following Christine and In the Ring with Christine. And on there, you're going to see all, all the fighters. And then you'll stay up to date with, when they're fighting, when they're prepping
Absolutely.
for Olympics and everything else. But this is when you want to watch them, right?
Yes,
so
they're the future. They're definitely the
and
future.
it's great. Like you watch that journey, right? Like Keyshawn, like going from, the amateurs, watching that journey, and then, seeing him now, in his pro career. That goes back to the conversation we were talking about, like the loyal fans, right? Like you get to know them, you follow them early, you stay with them, win or lose, you become that fan. And that's what these fighters need, that type of fan base. Yeah.
And we have an amazing, amazing head coach, Billy Walsh, and our strength and conditioning coach, Jose Polanco, and all the staff and everybody and all the coaches that work so hard, tirelessly and endlessly, to do what we need to do. So, please follow USA Boxing, and also please, enter in Christine, because everybody really needs to know the future, and unless they follow and see, the journey, then they miss out. They don't know what's coming up next. But we've got some real talent coming up. We definitely do. And so Nancy, any last words, any shout outs?
I'm so glad you're back.
Me too. And we miss our girl Nika. She's gonna be with us next week. I will be in East Lassie. I'm gonna do a Nika. I'm gonna be on the beach, getting my tan on, sitting on the sand, the beach. But next week, and join us. She had something to do this week, but we'll be good and ready to go.
Yep. So again, just so excited, that you're back. And then shout out to the chat. We missed y'all.
Absolutely. I love y'all.
Absolutely love the engagement, right? And there's no judging. Like we're in a safe zone here, right?
Absolutely.
So everybody can express and, debate, and it's all good.
Yeah, give their opinions. Fans. Absolutely.
I was just telling D Style, this is my therapy. Really and truly, this is my therapy, right? So again, follow USA Boxing, follow In the Ring with Christine, like and share, please. That also gives
like and share, subscribe,
subscribe. And I'm at Boxing Republic, so that's going to be Twitter, that's going to be Facebook and Instagram. So thank you all.
Love you, girl. Thank you so much, and love everybody in the chat. We love you, and see y'all Wednesday.
Bye.
Good night.